Okay, welcome back. This is everything that I got for the month of October 2022. This video is coming a little bit later than I wanted, just busy month for me. Lots of video games came out that I was playing instead of doing this, as well as I'm currently in the middle of organizing where I keep all my books, which always takes a bit longer than I expect because I start flipping through books and there's things I haven't seen in a while, I haven't read in a while, and I start flipping through those books, and yeah, I'll get there before the end of the year for sure. So kicking things off, I got Berserk Deluxe Edition Volume 7. Last month I got Volume 6, and I kind of said that'll be the last edition I get for a little while. Well, that was a lie. But no, I got 7 cents added to my pile this month. At my shop saw that it was running a little low in stock, so they just wanted to make sure that I was able to get this version of it, which is good because I want to get the first print of each of these just because I like to keep the format the same, and I mentioned that before. So 7, I don't know, probably next month I'll have 8, and then we'll see, we'll go from there. But yeah, I'm getting pretty caught up, only 6 volumes behind as of the newest version, which is volume 13. So yeah, pretty good there. Moving on to the singles monthlies. There's a few new issues in here, more than I was expecting, but a lot of books are also kind of either on a break or in between books or done. So first thing first, I got Night of the Ghoul by Scott Snyder and Francesco Francavilla. This is, I'm a really big fan of Francesco's art. I'm definitely saying his name incorrectly, which, sorry for that. Scott Snyder, hit or miss for me. I do really like his writing. I just find he's not very good at like wrapping things up. Some of the endings to his stories is a little weak. There's, I don't know, not a lot of stuff that gets really resolved in the end, but that's fine. This is, I think it's from Scott Snyder's Substack or a Comixology deal or something, published through Dark Horse now, so I get to pick it up. It's actually a pretty thick first issue, so I hope this isn't like the whole story because it's hard to get stuff. I say it's hard to get stuff by this artist. He just doesn't do a whole lot of like monthly books and stuff. So moving on, another new book, Lovesick by Luana Vecchio. I think she's from Italy, taking a guess there. This is like an adult horror book, I would say. This woman, she's like a succubus demon who runs like an underground adult club, and she kind of preys on people who are like bad dudes. So, but I like to pick up, one, I like new books, and I like stuff that's, you don't normally see printed in North America. Like I like reading as much European or like other markets that I can, just to get some variety, and yeah, kind of check all those boxes. So should be a fun little book. Defenders Beyond issue 4. This series is trucking along. I think there's only a couple more issues left in this one, and then yeah, it'll be done. But it's a lot of fun, just like the last Defenders book. They're kind of in this area where, I shouldn't say area, they're in like a one of the multiverses where they're all kind of wearing like their classic costumes. It's got like an old school like 60s Marvel vibe, which is pretty cool. But yeah, it's coming to an end. Like I said, a lot of fun. Pretty good book. Shaolin Cowboy issue 6. Only 2 more issues of this one left. He's on a total murder rampage, as he normally is. For revenge. It's for revenge, because his friends have been murdered. And he's right now he's fighting this like crazy, yeah, shellfishy crawfish creature that's got a dude attached to the front. Yeah, it's the wildest design, man. Jeff Darrow just has like the craziest ideas. And I absolutely love them. So yeah, this is a really fun book, and hopefully he gets revenge for his friends and hits the road for more adventures after that. Castle Full of Blackbirds. I really like the first issue of this book. I like any of the spin-off stuff from the Hellboy or B Party universe. I was flipping through the art though. This artist reminds me a lot of David Lapham. Not a bad thing. I really like David Lapham, so I had to like see, are they related in any way? But they're not, so that's fine. Yeah, second issue should be a lot of fun as well. Another Hellboy book. So Hellboy and like BPRD have done a lot of different types of stories, like science fiction. Obviously, it's horror, action, adventure, Mexican wrestling, but they've never done a romance comic. So here we are, Hellboy in Love. 5 issues. This first story is a 2-parter, and it's just different stories, I believe, of just people falling in love with Hellboy. I don't think it's, well, maybe there's a twist where it's like he gets doused like a love potion, but I think these actual just, human relations. So should be a lot of fun. written by Christopher Golden, longtime partner. Matt Smith is a longtime contributor as well in art to like the Mignolaverse, you would say. So should be pretty fun. I don't think you'll see him falling in love with Liz Sherman, Hellboy that is. That's definitely something from the movies, but it's never really happened in the comic book. I'm like 99.9% sure. There's like 20 years of Hellboy stuff to remember, so it's hard to remember if there was anything there. Another new book, Star Wars Visions. This one's by Takashi Okazaki, who is the creator of Afro Samurai. He did an episode of the TV series Star Wars Visions, which is basically there's like this Ronin Jedi who turns out to be a Sith, or at least you think he is, because he has a red lightsaber, and he fights another Sith, kills that Sith, takes the sword, goes on his way. Fun story. So this is just kind of continuation of that. There's clearly like an Afro Samurai themed character here on the cover, and it does show up like I flip near the end of this story. Might be some spoilers there. Oh, purple lightsaber, Afro Samurai. Like, come on, that's just Samuel L. Jackson, right? So maybe that'd be kind of cool. We'll find out. But yeah, should be a lot of fun. Erratic Recharged. First issue was really good. It's exactly what I'd want from like a teenage superhero origin story. I really like Carrie Andrews, so the art is awesome. Story's a ton of fun, so very much looking forward to continuing this book. And yeah, so here it goes. I think it's just a mini series. I don't know if it's going to like continue onwards or be ongoing, but if there's like a third or fourth volume or something, I'd pick that up too. Do a Powerbomb number 5. I really can't say anything else about this series. It just continues to be awesome, and I love every issue. This one, I'm sure, will be just as awesome. The last one ended with a banger, so I don't want to flip too much through this to the end or anything, but yeah, it's a lot of fun. The art is just like crazy good. It's Daniel Warren Johnson, is just really good at action. Like, it's just so kinetic. He also has a really good letters column, and he's always printing like fan art in the back, which is a lot of fun. Loves his roots. So yeah, moving on. Final issue of the Ant-Man book I'm reading. So now all the previous Ant-Man are in the future with future Ant-Man to help him save the day from whatever he was kind of like fighting, which I guess we'll find out, which is pretty fun. Tom Riley's back to doing kind of his own style. I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but each of the previous issues was kind of drawn in the similar fashion to when those Ant-Man comics were taking place, which was a lot of fun. So yeah, this should be a really fun book, and then I'll be done. This is also the end of the British Paranormal Society. This has been a really fun spin-off series of both the, I guess, Bruton Home from BPRD, Hellboy, and like some of the stuff that started with the Witchfinder, Sarah Gray. So yeah, obviously the final issue, so things will wrap up nicely, but Evil Town has been doing evil things. They're trying to summon some evil, and most of these stories usually end with evil creature being summoned and killing everyone there. And or them, the people doing it incorrectly and dying, or usually people end up like everyone dies, and then the either Hellboy or the BPRD, or in this case the British Paranormal Society is like, well, lesson learned, don't mess with the occult if you don't understand it. So yeah, this should be a lot of fun. Oh yeah, there's a Terran space there. That looks cool. Knives, sacrifices. Yeah, should be pretty good. Very much looking forward to more of that. The last one I got is actually an anthology book from Image called Image. Yeah, Image. It's the 30th anniversary anthology, so I don't know how many issues of this there are. I only picked up this one issue so far because it's got a story of this character here, the Pro, who's like an old comic I picked up like a long time ago. I think they actually say in the front page, 20 years it's been since the last issue of the Pro, who from Jimmy Palmiotti and Amanda Connor. Garth Ennis as well. It was created by Garth Ennis and Amanda Connor, but I don't think Garth Ennis writes the story. I don't think so. But it's basically a story of like a sex worker who gets like superpowers, kind of a satire of just superheroes in general. But it's an anthology, so there's lots of other comics in here. Some of them are pretty cool. Some, because it's like part 3 or part 4, I didn't quite know what was going on. But I really like anthology books in general. I usually pick them up, but I wasn't too curious in this Image one. There wasn't enough like, I don't want to say like standout talent or anything, not to knock anybody who's contributed to the book, but just know that I recognize I wanted me to pick it up with everything else I've been reading. But I will be getting another issue of this because I'm pretty sure I was reading that Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips are contributing a criminal story, an original criminal story. So got to pick it up for that because I get everything those guys do. Speaking of which, Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips. They put out the newest Reckless book. This is the 5th volume, Follow Me Down. It takes place around the same time as the last volume, The Ghost in You. So I had to look back on my shelf behind me. So this one, Reckless is in San Francisco, taking on a case as he does, getting into trouble, getting into fights, helping people out. So should be a lot of fun. I love all these Reckless books. I love everything these two guys do, as I always say when I get a new book from them. But this is also the last Reckless book for a while, which is kind of funny because the first Reckless book was meant to be like the only one. I think they're only planning on doing a couple, but then they were so well received and they sold really well, which doesn't surprise me as a huge fan of their work, that they continue on with them. Now we have 5 volumes in total. But they're going to take a break from Reckless, put out something different, and then maybe come back to it. I'm not sure. Maybe we'll go back to Criminal. Maybe we'll go back to Sleeper. Who knows? And then the last book I got this month is Ducks, 2 Years in the Oil Sands by Kate Beaton. Kate's she's a Canadian cartoonist. I'm pretty sure she's from the East Coast of Canada, but this is like her story of when she was working in the oil sands, Alberta. So a lot of Canadians will spend summers or take short contracts to go work in Alberta in the oil industry and make a ton of cash doing so, but it'd be kind of like rough. The work is hard. People are kind of weird. And this is her story as like a woman going to do that job for a couple of years. So should be good. I really like Kate Beaton. I was a big fan of her webcomic Heart of Vagrants. So this should be really good. I've got a suspicion that this is going to be a book that is going to win some awards this year. If I had to take a guess. It's published by Drawn and Quarterly, who's kind of like the fancy Canadian publisher. So if like anytime that they have a book that's from like a pretty well-known Canadian cartoonist, like it's going to get pushed for different awards, which is fine. I think Kate Beaton deserves the recognition. She's a great cartoonist. So I also really like those kind of, I really like autobiographies, especially done by cartoonists like Jeffrey Brown, Harvey Pekar, even Robert Crumb to an extent. Yeah, just people really kind of open themselves up to others to kind of see what their life was like. So, but yeah, that's everything. It's a pretty short video right now, just not the biggest stack, even though October is my birthday month. I normally go a little crazy. There wasn't anything too big, and I felt like I picked up enough books over the summer. Do need to keep adding to the pile that I'm still trying to catch up on. But December's coming up, and December, January typically are the months I tend to get a bit more books because there's a lot of stuff that comes out at the end of the year. Anyways, let me know what you think, and as always, send me your jeers, send me your cheers, and I'll see you next month.